Hi, this is Peggy at Headshots by Peggy, and today I have Don Grabowski with us. So you're going to love this one. Don, I'm so glad that you came on today. You have a lot of stuff going on.
Thank you. Yes, it's wonderful to be here.
So we just met yesterday and started talking, and here you are. So I'm excited. I know we've talked a little bit, but I'm excited to know more about what's going on. So tell us what's going on with you and what you do, and how you got to where you are.
Well, I'm an actor, a writer, and I'm also a sit-down comic because I'm not qualified to stand. And a lot of what I do is I end up creating my own projects because as a performer with a disability, typically when I audition, it is for roles that are under 5. And for your audience, if they don't know what under 5 is, it's usually 5 lines or less. And it's wonderful to be included mainstream, but typically it's things like, hi, he went to get coffee. And as somebody who wants to elevate their career and wants to play with the big people out there, the big boys and girls that are on the main stage, I want to get to that level as well. So the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, also known as the TV Academy, has a category that's relatively new. It's called short format. So I had a friend of mine that was in a short format last year, and he ended up being nominated for an Emmy and also winning an Emmy.
Wow.
And so because of that, I was motivated, and so I created a web series called Life in Limbo as interpreted by Don Grabowski. And hey, I'm Don Grabowski. So for the Emmy episode, I'm talking about how able-bodied actors are being hired to play characters with disabilities, and they're winning Emmys and Oscars. But when I go into audition for a woman with a disability, I'm typically told it doesn't look real enough. But I'm inspiring. So I wanted to explore that. And because I'm a sit-down comic that's not qualified to stand, I was able to incorporate 2 of my sit-down comedy routines. And so you hear my Eddie Redmayne jokes and stuff like that. But when the Academy looked at it, they said, well, this is not an acting category because you're not playing a character. So for Life in Limbo as interpreted by Don Grabowski, that category is considered nonfiction or reality. So that is up for a series. And then I also put it up for outstanding writing, nonfiction, short format. So that is the project that I've been working on since August, and that's 16 episodes, and every episode has a different subject matter. And because I'm a person with a disability, I kind of feel like I'm always in life in limbo because I'm in the able-bodied world. I'm looked at in one way because I use crutches or a wheelchair on a regular basis, on a daily basis. And in the disability world, I'm fortunate enough to have the cognitive ability beyond goodwill, beyond the scope of goodwill. So I typically don't always get the help that I need. So I'm kind of really stuck in the middle. And as somebody who has always wanted to be an actor and wanted to be an actor since I was 6 years old, that was how that series came about. But when the Academy said, well, we don't consider this a acting entry because you're not playing a character, and I'm in the performers peer group, I was like, I've got to change that because I want to make sure that my face and my body of work is out there. So I created another series called What's Your Channel for Life, and the 4 is like on like a number, like on a remote control. And there I'm sitting there talking to another actor who's playing a psychologist, and I'm explaining why I like television more than real life. And that is my acting entry. So that's outstanding lead actress in a comedy or drama short format. And in both cases, I wrote them both myself. I produced them both myself. I basically have done everything myself, except with the exception of the editing. I don't have that skill set or the equipment. And in some cases, depending on the episode, I've also had a DP. But the rest of it, it's a real grassroots effort because I've done everything myself.
So where did you study acting?
Well, I have a BA in theater that I received from my college in Florida, but I came out here several years ago, a couple decades now. Funny how 2 weeks turns into 20 years later.
Right.
But I'm self-taught when it comes to film and television, in terms of the books, but I've also studied with Kim Darby and Gordon Hunt, and taken classes at UCLA Extension and things like that. So I've taken many classes, and I consider my craft to be very serious, and I want to strive for excellence in my craft.
Right.
But it's been an offshoot of the acting turned into the writing, and the writing turned into the sit-down comedy, because I also have a one-person play that was on the circuit for 10 years called Always Going Up. I also have a 35 millimeter short that was on the circuit in 2001. I have a full-length feature called Dangerous Perceptions that was finished in 2009, 2010 that stars Jason Ritter. And now I have the 2 web series, and I also have a calendar and a bookmark. So I've created 7 major projects on my own.
So what do we need to know? What do we need to do to change this? Because I know this is a serious problem, and it's always been. Italian people played Native Americans because they didn't want to hire a Native American to play a Native American. I mean, it's just one thing after another. It's always been. Now, when you have, and I know quite a few very amazing, talented actors that are on crutches or in wheelchairs, that get passed over for parts that are literally their life.
Right.
And so what do we need to do to stand up and help stop this and help make a stand? I'm always the one that's for the underdog. I'm like, why does this world have to be so unjust? But what can we do?
Well, I think the main thing is when a television show comes out or a movie comes out or a short format web series and it does not have a person with a disability in it, or doesn't have technical advisors attached or something like that, I think we as a public and as human beings need to stand up for ourselves, even for the people that can't stand up, and say, hey, we're not going to go to this movie. We're not going to watch this television show. This is wrong, because there are tons of talented actors out there that happen to be performers with disabilities in some capacity. And typically when I audition, it's very frustrating, because I'll go out for the audition, and because according to the SAG contract, if it is a character with a disability, they must audition people with the disability.
Right.
In the theatrical contract that is labeled that way. But typically what will happen is 5, 10, 15 of us will go out, and the casting place and the production company will say, oh, we're amazing and we're fantastic, and then we find out a day later that it was stunt casted, meaning they planned to put a person with a disability without a disability in the part of a person with a disability. So they put the able-bodied actor in a chair or on crutches, and the reasoning for that is usually, well, this person was on a series and they have so they're well known by the public, or they have more Twitter followers, or they have more Facebook followers. So it's a constant struggle. So I would tell the average person, if you really want to make a stand, let the studios know, let the production companies know, let the series know, we don't think this is appropriate, we're not going to support this movie, we're not going to support this project, because I would consider it fair game if I was able to audition non-traditionally. And what I mean by that is going in for a character that has nothing to do with disability.
Right.
And as somebody who has been in town for a very long time and came here after college, I can honestly say I've been hired once in a non-traditional capacity, and that was in September of 2017, and I ended up getting cut out of the project. But I was hired non-traditionally for a role in the new television CBS series called SWAT. And then after that, I've auditioned twice for 2 of John Wells' productions called by the name of Animal Kingdom and also by the name of Shameless. And I've auditioned for those, and those had nothing to do with, those characters had nothing to do with disability, but it became between me and another actor, so it came down to a look, and it had nothing to do whether I had a disability or not. I just
Right.
wasn't what they were buying that day. So my thing is, like, if you're going to let an able-bodied person take a part for a person with a disability, the door should be open
Both
for
ways.
everything. But it's 2017 and 2018, and that's only happened 3 times.
Yeah.
And I've been in town since the 90s. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So, exactly. If they're putting able bodies in disabled parts, then why can't you be an attorney?
Yes.
Why does it have to focus on that you sit in a chair? Be an attorney because you're good at that, or whatever roles that you do cast for.
And it's very frustrating because I even have representation that will only send me out if it's a character with a disability, unless the production company has hired me in the past, because they say it's too hard to pitch me and I don't have enough projects. But yet, as we were talking, I have
quite a few projects, so you have a good reel
that I've done on my own dime. I have a demo. I also have the sit-down comedy.
You should find a new agent.
Well, I actually have considered that, and trying to find somebody that's willing to take on a performer with a disability is quite a challenge.
Wow. Well, I think that's something we all need to be aware of. I mean, I think a lot of times, you see prejudice and different things, and I think a lot of times it's not even prejudice, it's straight up ignorance. People don't think about it, people don't know. And so that's kind of what I wanted to do, is just kind of put it in people's face and say, hey, you know what, this is something, and we need to be aware of it. When you see a movie that's or a production, a television show that has somebody with a disability, go use Google. Every single one of us has Google in our pocket.
Yeah.
Find out,
Because typically the joke in the industry is the way to win an Oscar is to play a person with a disability or a hooker. And so if you're a person with a disability and you're not faking it, it seems to be a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, you don't look real enough.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're pulling that off. I don't know if I'm buying that.
And it's funny because I always tell people my disability is the fact that I'm flat-chested in Hollywood.
There you go.
I think that's more of a disability.
That's more of a disability
than having cerebral palsy.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, Dawn. We're going to put links down below so you can check out. Where can they check it out? Is it on YouTube? Is it on other?
Yes, it is. Okay. It's on my own website, which is dongrabowski.com.
I'm going to put that there.
And also, if you go to www.lifeinlimbonow.com, you'll find Life in Limbo as interpreted by Dawn Grabowski, and you'll see the casting episode that I spoke of. That's up for Emmy consideration in nonfiction or short format. In short format, and also outstanding writing, nonfiction short format. And then the acting entry is what's your channel for life, and the four is
on the remote
control. So yes, and if you know any Emmy voters, Television Academy voters, I would appreciate it if they would consider it. The two of the entries are on the FYC site, but the Life in Limbo as interpreted by Dawn Grabowski as a series is not on the FYC website just because of financial restraints. If you're a series, it's thousands and thousands of dollars to let people know that your series is out there.
Yeah. Okay. So. Well, all the links are going to be below. Thanks so much for taking the time to come out here. And you guys don't know it, but we're dying of heat in here. My air conditioner does not work. So even more thank you for putting up with this.
No problem.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you go to YouTube, subscribe, and turn on the bell so that you don't miss any of my amazing vlogs. And most importantly, have an amazing week. I'll see you next week.
Thank you very much.